yeah, yeah. Hey, hey. I just felt like we needed. Oh man, there's so much energy today. Hello, hi, welcome back. It is 2021. We've made it through, and we are here in the new year, ready to start with the best way that we possibly could start. That's right, some daily creative challenges. Hi. My name's Andrew Hockrattle, and I will be your host and guide over the next 2 weeks as we do a daily creative challenge every single day, right at this time, 11:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Lots of familiar faces in chat. We've got Chris Olson, Anna's here. Hello, Wade. Of course, Wade. And yes, Wade, we had to bring out the jacket. It's a celebration. It's so much fun to see you all here. Let me know where you are watching from in the world. As you know, I love to know that we are coming together and being able to hang out all in the same place. Also, yes, Sean, hello, hello. And yes, the jacket did survive 2020. If you'd like to follow along, you can follow on the social medias here, there, all the places. I will be doing reviews on our daily creative challenges on my personal Behance, which you can find just behance.net/hawk.co. All right. So let's get started. If you've never been here before, and I know a lot of you have, this is the Daily Creative Challenge for Adobe Illustrator. There are challenges for a bunch of programs, which we'll look at in the intro in just a second. But today is all about kind of just hanging out. It's the intro day, so we're going to get accustomed. We're going to play around with a little bit of stuff. And as you know, I love to have a fun challenge theme. So we won't reveal the theme today, we'll reveal it tomorrow, but I may give you some clues as to what we're going to be learning throughout the weeks. And people from Dayton, nice, the Modern is in Dayton, Ohio, London, North Carolina, man, we are all over the world. That is awesome and incredible. So let's hop in. If you've never done these before, each day we will have a challenge that you can be a part of, and you can see those challenges by going right here, behance.net/challenge/illustrator. Here you can click this giant button, giant blue button right here that will say, hi, your name, take the challenge. And that challenge will allow you to tune in every single day to get notifications in your Creative Cloud desktop app. It will pop up every day and let you know. And hey, Drew, nice to see you. We have a different bit of a setup today, so if you see me looking over this way, that's where you guys are. You're sitting in the right wing. So this is where you can get involved. If you'd like to learn some other programs, Illustrator's great, but if you'd like to branch out, you also can look at behance.net/challenge/Photoshop or /XD and check those out. Nice, Russia's here. That's awesome. So once we're done with all these challenges, we are going to work together to make something called a case study. And I'll talk about that as we go through. But at the end, hopefully you have made 9 really cool things that you can tie all together and put into a project on Behance. I'll show you how to do that a little bit later in our challenges. But once you submit it, you can be entered to be featured in the Creative Challenge Gallery on Behance. How cool would it be to level up your skills over the next 2 weeks, and then at the end of those 2 weeks, you get featured. That would be super, super fun. So make sure that you're tracking along, you're saving all of your files. Don't forget to save as you go through, and making sure that we are posting that at the end. Now, today, yes, is an intro day. I've got a ton of announcements. I'm sorry. The next thing that I want to tell you about is, of course, our Discord. It's the place to be. And Wade, are you in the Discord? Steve, are you in the Discord? There's a lot of people that are in the Discord. If you're there, go ahead and give me a wave emoji if you are in our Discord. And if you're not, right here, bit.ly/AI Discord. And yes, I'm a bit more mobile because I got a standing setup, so we're going to be all over the place. But bit.ly/AI Discord is where you can get plugged in, where you can join our thriving communities. And let's hop over there and see what is going on and what people are saying. So these are some daily creative challenges from the past. This is, I think, our first one back this year. So some of these are older. I see we have someone catching up from our Halloween. And this is the place that you are going to be posting your challenges as we do them each day. This is a place that I will be going live and reviewing them. We'll be going live probably like 10 p.m. PST at night. We'll get some snacks, we'll turn on some jazz, and we will hang out, and I'll give you feedback on your challenges, so hopefully you can level up and figure out maybe what you can improve or what you can try differently. Now, something that's very important about these challenges. This is my close-up important face. there are no wrong answers. There's no wrong way to do these challenges. There is a way that I'm going to show you, but that doesn't mean that it's the only way. Creativity is a place that you can explore, you can try new things, and you can do whatever you want. I'm not your mom, I'm just here to help guide you. So if you want to go a little bit off the track, feel free to. And I'm going to give you a theme tomorrow, and that will help you kind of track and build your story. If you want a different story than the one that we're doing, 100% go for it. The goal here is to learn the concepts and start using the tools in a way that's familiar with you, and in a way that you enjoy. If you're not having fun, what's the point? So have fun, try new things. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but at least you tried it and learned something new. So let's go ahead and hop in. And if you guys want to, let me know what you want to see. Let me know what you want to learn over these next 2 weeks. We do have a plan, but I will try to incorporate some new things. If you want to learn them, drop them in chat right now. I'll be looking over here in the wings and making sure that we incorporate those into our lessons. All right. I'm over my time of announcements, so let's go ahead and hop into Illustrator. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about Illustrator, and then we're going to show you some cool stuff today. So if you're unfamiliar, I know literally probably all the people in chat are familiar with Illustrator if you've never used it before. Quick overview, here's what it is. This is a program that is mathematically based on vectors, right? If we zoom into a photo, you'll see those little squares that are called pixels. In Illustrator, if we do that and we zoom in on a shape, let me change the color of this real quick, you'll see that it never gets pixelated. It always stays crisp and clear, and that means that it is vector. It is mathematically calculating the points so that it stays precise no matter what you are doing. So vector format is great for screen printing, great for printing at large sizes because you can scale it infinitely. This little area that we're working on right here, this is called your artboard. I'll be referencing this a lot throughout our challenges, and you can work on the artboard, you can work off the artboard, you can work wherever you want. There's no rules, but the artboard is basically the window to the project that we will be exporting. So whatever is on that artboard is actually what's going to go out when we export it. So make sure that's the area that we end up working on, but there's no rules. We can work all over the place. So let's go ahead and hop in today. And in the intro day, I always want you to learn something. And so what we're going to be learning today is a little bit about type, a little bit about typography. If you're unfamiliar, and actually let's try this in chat. Chat, try to name as many different kinds of typography as you can. So not fonts, different kinds. How do we classify type? Hello, Robert. Welcome to the stream. Nice to see you. So I'm going to go through and show you 3 major types of what typography is. And Terry, great suggestion, Illustrator for iPad. I'll try to incorporate that. That could be fun on some of these days. So I'm going to kind of categorize the 3 different types, really 2 different types. There's a bunch of different types of typography. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to grab the type tool, just hitting T or clicking there. And yes, we've got some things, serif, sans serif, anything else coming in? Those are the 2 majors. We're going to do one here, and I have just used Dunbar. So I'm using S to scale things up, and we are doing Dunbar right now. Typos. Yes, black letter, blocks, Romans, cursive, absolutely script, italic. Great, you guys are well versed in typography. So I'm going to kind of show you with this one. And what I want you to do for this is if you have a story that you want to tell, this is going to be the title card to our challenges over the next week. So I'm just going to do my name, and that way we can kind of get started at least and figure out what we want to do. So I'm not only going to show you the different kinds of typography, we are going to create them today. So your challenge today, as you warm up and kind of practice, is to make one sort of type into another sort of type, right? So here we have something that is called a sans serif. Sans serif means that they are often clear right angles or sharp angles on the corners. They don't have any pointies. That's how I like to describe them. They don't have any pointies and they don't have any extra pieces. They're basically just how you would write a letter, right? They're thicker. They very, very often are just very simple, very bold. So this is what we would call a sans serif. Now, if we wanted it to be a serif, I'm going to come in here and I'm actually going to highlight this. And right now it is live type, which means I can edit it. I'm going to go to Object and Expand. And that's going to expand our appearance so now that it is shapes and we can work with it a little bit more. And yes, bonus day 1 challenge. It's true, this is not an official challenge, but I wanted to make sure you learned something new. So we're going to use the pen tool here, and I'm going to show you how to make a serif. So we're using the pen tool, and a serif is basically just a little pointy that comes off of the side. So what I like to do is kind of create the beginning of a pointy right here, and then we want it to have just that little tiny kind of curve in. So I'm using the pen tool, which basically just maps out points, and here to get the curve, I'm going to click and drag down, and it's going to give us a nice little point. So we can just connect those very sloppily. And now we have this nice little point that creates a serif. And yes, this is day 0 challenge. Now we have created this nice little point. So we can simply copy this and paste it, and then maybe we want to flip it. So we can go and right click, transform, reflect, and we're going to do this horizontal. We'll hit OK. And now really all that a serif is just these little pieces. And if you have your Snap and Smart Guides on, you can use that to help you align things, or you can go to View and turn on Smart Guides, or just use Control U. So we're going to grab these paths and just align them right here. And you can see now we have some of these awesome little serifs. You can play around, put them wherever you want. And we are taking this sans serif font and making it into a serif font. So this is what I want you to do. And again, to make copies of these, I am clicking on the serif, right-clicking, transform, reflect, and here we are going vertical, which means reflecting vertical is taking it this way and then flipping it this way. So we're facing this way first. We reflect vertical, which means we are on a vertical axis going the opposite way. So we're going to hit copy here, and that's going to make a copy of it. And again, just drag it over real nice right there. And we have a perfect little serif going out that side. So this is a sans serif font, which now has been converted into a serif font. So I need one more. Let's do it. Why not? Transform, reflect. And again, today is not an actual challenge. It's a day for you to explore, to just have some fun, to try some new things. And let's go ahead and drop this in there. There we go. Now we've got a nice little serif. So this part right here, let me circle it for y'all. This part right here is called the serif, that little piece. So because the other letters don't have it, it is sans serif without a serif. And here it does have a serif. So we're going to do one more type of serif, and this is called a slab serif. Slab serifs are my favorite, and we're going to kind of play around with slab serifs and maybe do an extra effect to it to give it a little bit more, I don't know, a little more zazz. So I'm going to ungroup these, and let's go ahead and do, let's do the R. Let's see here. So an R is, again, sans serif. Now we do want to add serifs, but instead of them being pointy, so this would be a serif, we want it to be blocky. And so this would be what is called a slab serif. So it's taking the weight of a sans serif and extending it out and mismatching with a serif that isn't pointy. So I'm going to grab the rectangle tool, just hitting M or coming over here to the rectangle tool. And we are clicking and dragging just to make the same width of this. Now we're going to click and drag this out on that bounding box and see how this is giving us a serif, but it's not a pointy serif. It's a very weighty, thick serif. This was often used in printing with wood type, and this is going to be a clue into where we're going for our next challenge theme tomorrow. So we're going to click and drag, and again, we are holding Alt or Option here. So when we click and drag, you can see that it is moving this around. When we hold Alt or Option, it is going to make two little arrows. One of them will be white, and that means it's going to make a copy instead of just moving it. And yes, somebody finally got slab serif. Yes, I'm so glad. It is indeed a slab serif. So with slab serifs, again, it can go in the same places that the serifs do. There aren't really rules about where serifs needs to go. There are guidances and things that you should do and shouldn't do. Who cares? And so what I like to do is really play around with serifs and see how far I can push it into kind of being these super thick, chunky serifs. So that probably a little too chunky, but you know what? I kind of like it. So we're going to pull this over here, see if that's enough. That looks pretty good to me. Let's make it a little bit wider. There we go. So again, these are just rectangles, and we want to use our guides, of course, to snap to these points and these edges right there. So now we have a nice little R. So here's where we're going to start to delve into the theme. I'm going to cough. Hold on. I felt it. Spared you the noise. So here's where we're going to delve into the theme a little bit and make it look like it is a kind of wood type piece that's printed on something maybe like a wanted poster. So we're going to come over here and grab the pencil tool, which is right underneath that rectangle tool that we were using. We're going to click on the pencil tool. If it doesn't look like a pencil, you can click and hold, and it may be under the shaper tool for you. So you can click and hold and go to the pencil tool. And from here, we are going to make sure that we have a stroke on. So we'll click this little reverse 2 arrows. And now I'm just going to start drawing some lines. And I'm thinking about wood grain. What would wood grain look like? So I'm kind of just clicking and maybe drawing some pieces that may look like wood grain. I think wood grain usually has something like these little kind of knots in it. And maybe we have little pieces that come around these knots. Maybe there's another one that goes this way. And again, there's no wrong way to do this. You can kind of just mess around with the wood. If your pencil looks too sharp, what you can do is with the pencil tool selected, just hit enter and it changes to smooth. Move it all the way over to smooth, and that will help smooth out these lines quite a bit. So I'm just going to continue to do these, do some little wood lines here. Maybe there's one that comes up and loops back around this way. Same thing over here. And we're kind of just making these shapes to be really obtuse. These, maybe we have them filled in a little bit so we have some good knots that are in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all these by just clicking and dragging. And I'm going to up the stroke to make them a little bit thicker. So that looks pretty good. We've got this kind of weird, wonky wood type look. Now, we're going to take the wood type and put it on top of this R to create a kind of wood printed, like you would see on a wanted poster, on a playbill, on the side of a saloon. And we are going to put it onto that R. So I'm actually going to turn these back into strokes. So we have that. And what I'm going to do is select all of this. And I'm going to go to Object and Expand. That takes it from being a stroke along that line into being shapes. So now instead of being just a stroke, they are actual shapes with anchor points. So if you want to see kind of what we're doing, you can simply make this white by doing the eyedropper tool. And we're just going to click and drag this out. And now you can see it's got those nice little lines you'd see in a wood grain, but it's just overlaid, right? This is just white over it. And I forgot to group this. There we go. So it is just, if we make it a different color, it is just those lines kind of sitting over the shape. We actually want to punch them out so we can play around with what they look like a little bit different. So I'm going to click and drag over this whole thing. And again, clicking and dragging, holding Alt or Option, we're going to make a copy of it over here. And we're going to zoom in and make sure that this R is actually one shape. Right now, there are these rectangles that we've added. So we're going to select the type and these rectangles and come over to the Pathfinder tool. Window, Pathfinder, and Join right here. The first one above us is the join. And from there, we are going to make these lines a compound path by going to Object, Compound Path, and Make. And then select all of this and think of it as a hole punch. The top part is going to punch out of the bottom part, and we are going to hit right here the second one on this Pathfinder to now make it look like it is that wood type. Now, again, today, I know that I'm going super fast over a whole bunch of things. I'm just trying to show you a guide that you can play around with, try some new things. And if you want super extra credit, try this. Select this object and play around with some of the effects. The one that I'd love for you to try is to go to Effects, Distort and Transform, and then go to Roughen. And here you'll see that it's going to make it all kinds of weird and wonky. Try setting this to smooth. Try playing around with all of these different features. Maybe you want to set it to a super low percentage. And I'll explain what these actually do in a later lesson as we come up. But what I want you to do is play around, try to see what happens with these, and see if you can discover something. And then over the next 2 weeks, we're actually going to touch on pretty much all the tools that I went over today in depth. So play around with it, get some exposure, try it out, and then I will walk you through how to use these tools, how to refine your process that you've discovered on your own. So with Roughen, I'm going to hit OK. And now you see we've got these little rough edges, and we've created a nice wood type slab serif out of a sans serif. All right, so here's again what we want to do. I'm going to cut back to here. What we want to do is go to behance.net/challenge/illustrator. And by going here, we're going to click this button to take the challenge. And then when you scroll down tomorrow, we will have a source file for you right here as we jump into our challenge theme and get started on learning. But what I want you to do is sign up for our Discord, bit.ly/AI Discord. And from there, try to make one type into another kind of type, right? So try to make a sans serif into a serif. Try to make a sans serif into a slab serif. If you want to get extra credit, try to do some of the texturing techniques that we've looked at, but try to take one type of type and make it into something else. You can do your name, you can do a theme for your challenge, whatever you want to do that, and then post it right here at our Discord. We'll be giving some feedback probably tomorrow night after our challenge, hanging out on the personal stream. So let's take a look at what is coming up next on the day. There is all kinds of great content for you here on Adobe Live. And if you guys want to hang out with me, I'll be here a lot this week. So let's take a look at the schedule today. We had Paul Tranny with an awesome new show this morning. If you missed it, make sure you tune in. He's going to be giving you updates about what's happening in the design world, what inspiration you can find, and who to follow. Then we have the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge with our friend Voodoo Val. Like I said, behance.net/challenge/whatever program. And those happen every single day. Right before this, we were hanging out with Isaac, and we will be doing that again tomorrow, doing some drawing and painting. After me, our friend Cody is going to be doing some mobile app design. So if you'd like, if you like doing any kind of UI UX for mobile or for desktop, hang out right after the stream because there's a lot of that. And then you can also up your XD game by hanging out with Andrea Epi doing the Daily Creative Challenge. It really is All-Star Week here on Adobe Live. Lots of great content coming to you. And at the end of the day, one of my favorite people, some of my favorite people, Amy and Jen Hood are back. If you guys have tuned in, we have a show called Design in the Dark that I host, and we will be hanging out with them in a creative replay, watching them create a brand based on your suggestions. So come hang out with Hoodspa Design. They're actually on 4 times this week. So Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday, Thursday as well, right after this show on Wednesday and Thursday. So come hang out for those. It's going to be a great time. And let me know in chat if you have any guesses for what we are doing for our theme. Tomorrow we'll be debuting it, and we will be working in that theme over the 9 days. Again, it really is just a structure that will help you, if you don't have ideas, it helps to give you something to not have to face the terror of a blank page. If you have any guesses from the clues that I have given you today, let me know in chat, and maybe we'll see if we hit any of those. Also, if there are any suggestions of things that you want to learn, let me know in chat right now. We've got a couple minutes left, so I'm going to check out chat as we close out today and see if you guys have any good things. And remember, at the end of our daily creative challenges, I do want to see you post them all together. It makes me so happy as I can lay in bed and scroll on my iPad and look at all your challenges. So here on Behance, you can get featured here on the creative challenge page if you submit. And if you are posting on Behance, make sure you use hashtag AI Daily Challenge. Some ideas, guesses here. We've got Las Vegas. We've got Wild West. And yes, stay tuned for Cody Brown. Thank you, Wade. Empty artboard gives me horror. I agree. It is absolutely terrifying. I'm super excited. I know that hopefully you guys are too. Hopefully you will join me for all of these daily creative challenges. And one more time, we want to go to behance.net/challenge/illustrator, sign up for that. And then at the end of the day, I want to see your type as another type. Show me what your type is. So we're going to do sans serif into serif, or maybe serif into slab serif, sans serif into slab serif into serif. See what you can do, post on Discord. So thanks so much for joining me today. It was a pleasure. And tomorrow, make sure you tune in because I will see you on the trail. Bye.